Hello guys, the rogue's chest is an item that's been in the game for the last 10 years. Across that decade, it's seen no updates and it's a little bit outdated. That is, until now. It's seen a massive buff to both the loot and the XP. The XP's gone up by over 7 times what it previously was, and as you'll see, the GP an hour is now a little tasty. Let's go have some fun. This is the basic setup I'm going to be going with. I wouldn't say this is absolutely optimal. I will get into what I believe to be optimal towards the end of the video, but it's what I have available to me on this account. You'll see why I'd like a bit of magic offense. You'll also see why the Dragon Spear comes in handy, but you can pretty much go to this place risking next to no GP. I think most of you know where the rogue's chest is, but if you don't, the easiest way to get there is the level 50 obelisk teleport and then go to the back of the rogue's castle. Throughout this video, I will be giving you some useful tips and tricks, because believe it or not, I've already done over 20,000 of this chest before it was buffed, and the nature of this account is it's a wilderness only Iron Man, so I've had to do a lot of strange things. Consequently, if you haven't seen that series, I recommend you go and check it out, because that is how we got here today. First tip I want to give you is you can spear the rogues into the northeastern hut. This proves useful for several reasons. The first, you haven't got your screen clogged up with them screaming at you. The second, you get to conserve prayer, as you don't need protect from melee up. The third, you're not in combat, so if you're paying attention, you can actually hop from PKs before they get to you. And finally, if you are caught by a PKer, you can just focus their attacks rather than having to protect melee from the rogues themselves. The wilderness is full of old and clunky content. It's a beautiful mix of some of the oldest but also constantly updated content. As you can see, the PKer here goes to attack me, but the delay of the chest means it says I'm busy, which actually gives me time to log out before he can attack me. Again, proving why it's worth spearing those rogues off. Ooh, they added 2 days prayer potions, so prayer here actually might be self-sustaining if they're common enough. First clue scroll coming in. The clue rate here is 1 out of 99, which means you can actually expect a clue roughly every 15 minutes. Naughty little juggle plots added the rate to the blog post like it had been updated or something, when in actual fact that's always been the rate. I do have some ideas towards the end of the video in regards to clues from here though, so stay tuned for that. Another great way to evade PKs is being a YouTuber, so make yourself a little channel, pour thousands of hours into a completely arbitrary account, and every now and then you may get left alone. Being attacked is part and parcel of the wilderness. It's what makes it so fun and exciting. But honestly, the Rogue's Castle is one of the easier spots to escape from. To the northwest of the castle, there's a stairway that has 4 floors. Those of you familiar with the series will have seen plenty of stair roulette. It's great fun, a good way to escape PKs, and honestly, the odds are stacked in your favour. First hour down, and honestly, I'm flabbergasted by the XP. 266k, it's a bit more than 200k that they said it would be, and also 2.7 mil, over 2.7 mil in the first hour. This is going to be juicy. We also got 2 clue scrolls in that hour, which is worth noting. It's slightly below what I'd expect, but not too shabby at all. Hour 2, we had a completely uninterrupted hour. I believe I got pretty much the max XP possible, so it looks like it caps out about 280k XP per hour, which honestly is amazing. Alongside that, we made 2.6 mil in GP. And if you're an Iron Man like myself, the supplies are also very worthwhile. Hour 3, we saw our first death. There is a limit on how many PKs you can see off, even with the help of the stairs. With a 267k loss on this occasion, the boys will feast on a split of 30k each. The boys were working the stairs well on this occasion, so sometimes you've got to get a little bit creative. So we freeze one of the PKs in place. The other one comes to AGS my head, but attacks his own guy. Unlucky on this occasion, fella, we just about by the skin of the teeth got the log. The trick is to get to those stairs ASAP, because as you can see from this clip, they had the boys flooding in, and it makes it a lot harder when there's more PKs because they can station 1 on each level. Something else I like to do is turn off my overhead prayers. It just makes it a little bit less obvious what level I'm initially on. We saw a second death in hour 3. Sometimes there just do be too many. I'm not sure shouting out your clan, killing one defensive chesty boy is quite the flex you think it is, but I'm happy for you lads all the same. Hour 3 over, and actually we still saw a decent amount of GP to be honest. 2 deaths and we're still walking away with 1.35 mil. Because of being attacked, our XP was a little lower at 255k XP, but that's still not too shabby at all. And in this hour, we actually managed to get 7 clues, which is pretty huge. Another tip is be wary of the second floor on the Rogue's Castle. As I mentioned, the wilderness is full of clunky content, and when you get to floor 2, you don't actually access the staircase from the tile that you arrive on. So if they instantly freeze you on floor 2, they can stop you from using the stairs for the duration of the freeze, which, on this occasion, did lead to our demise. Be rude not to chuck me a GZ for Night of Thieving, wouldn't it? Already a couple of levels from this video. Hour 4 with 1 death, we managed to maintain 265k XP per hour. We also made nearly 2 million lootations and another good hour for clues. We've got 6 clues. Hour 5, oh, hour 5. If I'm being completely honest, I'd planned to make this a 10-hour video initially, but hour 5 made me want to dig my eyeballs out with a rusty spoon. I was on thieving the chest from the second the update dropped. It wasn't too bad, but by the time we'd got to the following day, it had picked up hugely with PKs. We did die 3 times in hour 5, but worse than that, I felt like I spent more time on the stair simulator than opening chests. The PKs have been made aware of the fortune that lies within this beautiful chest and came in numbers to harvest those opening it. Look, this is a brand new update and you'd expect PKs right at the start of it. It will slow down, it will also become a very viable thieving option. Just before we get into the final loots and stats of the video, I'd like to suggest an idea for the Rogue's Ring. Open to ideas on what could create this, but I think the Ring of Wealth Eye with 100k in your inventory, use it on the Rogue's chest and it creates the Rogue's Ring. When worn, it makes clues from this chest go from 1 out of 99 to 1 out of 66. So they have the buff alongside the GP and XP rates. I think it should always be lost on death, so you'd be risking a Ring of Wealth and 100k for the perk. This is the final loot from the 5 hours at the chest. As you can see, a lot of it is very Iron Man friendly, with an absolute ton of runes, ores, gems, secondaries and wilderness items. It's also good GP for mains, coming out at just about 2.1 mil per hour. Uninterrupted and with good RNG, I think you could cap at about 3 mil per hour, but it's more likely around 2.7 mil. The XP rates, as mentioned, cap out at about 280k per hour. Mine come out at 253.3k per hour across the 5 hours. My best hour being 280k and my worst being 202k. Bloody hour 5. We got 20 clues in the 5 hours, which is right on rate at the 4 an hour that you can expect. Often, when an update drops, it changes item prices, so I wanted to see if the items on a normal account would sell for what they said they'd sell for. Step up, rev seller. Again, another series of mine that if you haven't checked out, please do. I'm working on a new episode at the moment, and it's looking like a bit of a Bobby banger already. The GP from the items that we sold was bang on the 10.5 mil as expected. They're mostly raw items that are already sold in huge quantities, so you can expect the GP rates not really to differ going forward. We had made just about enough money from this little adventure to grab ourselves an old school RuneScape bond. We decided to head to an area that I find very nostalgic, and that is the Hill Giants, to give a noob in need a bond. Why did I like the Hill Giants back in the year of 2005? Because I'd pick up the big bones, take them to Varrock Westbank and spend hours typing Flash 3, Wave 2, selling dragon bones, waiting to scam an unsuspecting victim. Just like you guys have been scammed thinking that I've given away this bond to be a good guy, when in actual fact, I just needed some extra footage to make this video 8 minutes to grab all 25 quid of my ad revenue. Good fight fellas, and sit rats. I did also mention I'd let you guys know what gear I thought was optimal. Well, this welfare gear has a magic defense of plus 135 with like no risk. You start adding 3 decent items you could protect like Armadillo or Carols, it goes up even further. Right now it's mainly small teams there, so your main escaping priority should be to avoid the first freeze and get to those steps. Play yourself a little game of stare roulette.